The hospital room was cold despite the summer heat outside. Amara clutched her newborn daughter, still weak from delivery, still processing the chaos of the last 12 hours. A man stood by the window, tall, Korean, dressed in an immaculate black suit that screamed money and power. Kang Dae-hyun. The name everyone whispered with fear in Seoul's underground. He'd appeared 3 hours after Lena's birth. No explanation, no introduction. Just walked past security like he owned the building, which she'd later learn he did. "Sign this," he said, placing papers on the bedside table. His voice was flat, emotionless. "What is it?" Amara's voice shook. She'd been alone during labor. No family, no partner, just her and the nurses. And now this stranger demanding signatures. A legal document, trust fund, protection, everything your daughter will need. Why? I don't know you, you don't know me. I know enough. Your daughter saves a life tonight. This is payment for that debt. She's a baby. She hasn't done anything. Not yet, but she will. Sign, please. The please was unexpected, softened something in his cold demeanor. Amara looked at the papers, complex legal language she didn't understand. Inheritance trusts, asset transfers, guardianship clauses. This says she inherits everything from Kang Holdings. Yes, that's your company. It's my empire, and tonight I'm giving it to her. Why? Because sometimes honor demands impossible choices, and I always honor my debts. He placed a pen in her trembling hand. Against every instinct, every logical thought, Amara signed. The moment ink touched paper, Kang Dae-hyun took the documents and disappeared. Like a ghost, like he'd never been there. Except for one detail. A sealed envelope left on the table. Inside, a single card with a phone number, and a note. When she turns 10, call this number. Not before. Her life depends on your silence. Amara held her daughter close and wondered what kind of deal she'd just made with the devil. The lawyer who witnessed the signatures worked quickly. No questions, no commentary, just professional efficiency that suggested he'd done this before. This document, he explained to Kang Dae-hyun in the hospital parking lot, makes the child the primary heir to everything. All assets, all holdings, everything transfers to her upon your death or upon her 18th birthday, whichever comes first. I understand. Sir, this is unprecedented. Your organization will never know. This stays sealed, hidden. The child's existence remains secret. What about the mother? She signed a non-disclosure. If she speaks, she loses everything. The child loses everything. She'll stay silent. And when the child grows up, when she discovers she owns a criminal empire, that's a problem for future. Tonight, I'm settling a debt, making sure one innocent life is protected. That's all that matters. May I ask what debt? No. Kang Dae-hyun walked to his car. Behind him, the lawyer filed the papers with a special court that handled such matters discreetly. A judge who asked no questions. A registrar who buried the records deep. By morning, the document existed in official records but was invisible to anyone searching. Coded, encrypted. Accessible only through specific legal channels that required knowledge most people didn't have. The only physical copy went into a vault, sealed. Marked, inheritance holder, to be opened only upon specific conditions. Inside the vault, Lena's name was written in permanent ink. Primary owner, Lena Amara. 10 years old, or upon Kang Dae-hyun's death, whichever came first. The biggest secret in Seoul's criminal underworld was born that night. And nobody except 3 people knew it existed. 10 years passed. Amara had moved from Seoul to a small city 2 hours away. Changed her name slightly. Built a quiet life cleaning houses and working night shifts at a convenience store. Lena grew up brilliant. Top of her class. Curious. Kind. Completely unaware that somewhere in a legal vault, her name controlled billions. Amara had thought about the envelope countless times, the number she was supposed to call on Lena's 10th birthday. But fear kept her silent. Fear of that world. Fear of what involving her daughter in whatever Kang Dae-hyun represented would mean. So she did nothing. Lena turned 10. The number stayed uncalled. Life continued normally. Until the day Lena's school had a special visitor, a lawyer from Seoul, giving a presentation about legal careers. Routine. Educational. Boring to most students. Except during the Q&A, Lena asked an unusually sophisticated question about inheritance law. The lawyer noticed, asked her name for his records. Lena Amara, she said clearly. The lawyer's hand froze mid-note. He knew that name, had seen it exactly once. On a sealed document he'd filed 10 years ago. A document he'd been told to forget existed, but he'd never forgotten. How could he? It was the most shocking legal filing of his career. After the presentation, he made a call. I found her, the child, the inheritance holder. She's alive, she's here, and she has no idea what she owns. On the other end, someone very powerful began making plans that would change everything. Inside Kang Holdings' headquarters, a gleaming tower in Seoul's financial district, chaos was brewing. The company's board of directors faced an impossible problem. Kang Dae-hyun had structured his empire unusually: complex legal trusts, offshore holdings, assets that couldn't be accessed without proper authorization. For 9 years, this hadn't mattered. Dae-hyun ran everything, made all decisions, controlled all money. But 6 months ago, he'd suffered a stroke. Not fatal, but debilitating. Now he was partially incapacitated, unable to make day-to-day decisions, unable to access certain accounts that required his direct authorization. The board discovered they couldn't access billions in assets, couldn't transfer funds, couldn't make crucial deals. Everything was locked behind legal structures they didn't understand. There has to be a primary heir, the CFO insisted. Someone with authorization to access these accounts in case of Dae-hyun's incapacitation. We've searched every record. There's nothing. No designated heir, no successor, nothing. That's impossible. No one builds an empire this complex without a backup plan. Then the backup plan is hidden, buried so deep we can't find it. The board brought in forensic accountants, legal specialists, investigators. All hit the same wall: the authorization codes, the access keys, the legal authority to control Kang Holdings in Dae-hyun's absence. They existed somewhere. But where? Keep searching, the chairman ordered. Billions are locked away, rivals are circling. If we don't find the heir, the missing authorization, the key to everything, the empire collapses. What none of them knew: the heir was a 10-year-old girl in a small city, living in a modest apartment, doing homework, completely oblivious to the fortune she legally controlled. And the people searching for her were growing desperate. Desperate people make dangerous choices. The investigation took a dark turn. If legal channels couldn't find the heir, illegal ones would. Kang Holdings' security chief, a man named Park who'd served the organization for 20 years, activated the empire's intelligence network. Someone, somewhere, knows about this heir. Find them. Investigators spread through Seoul's underworld. Questioned lawyers, accountants, judges, anyone who might have filed secret documents. Most knew nothing, but fear made them talk anyway. One name kept appearing. The lawyer who'd filed unusual paperwork 10 years ago. The one who'd been at that hospital, the one who'd witnessed something. Park's men found him, brought him to a quiet room, asked pointed questions. The lawyer resisted at first, claimed confidentiality, professional ethics. But when Park showed him photos of his family, not a threat exactly, but an implication, the lawyer's resolve cracked. There was a child, born 10 years ago. I filed documents making her the primary heir to everything. Her name. I can't. Her name. The lawyer's hands shook. Lena Amara. But I don't know where she is now. The mother disappeared, changed identities probably. I haven't seen them since that night. What night? The night Kang Dae-hyun made the deal, the night he signed everything over to a newborn baby. I witnessed it. I filed it. That's all I know. Park released the lawyer with a warning, then activated a different search. No more legal channels. Now they were hunting. A 10-year-old girl named Lena Amara. Could be anywhere, could be using a different name, could be dead. But Park had resources, connections, technology. He'd find her. And when he did, he'd discover whether she was the solution to their crisis, or just another complication in an increasingly complex situation. What Park didn't know: finding Lena would trigger consequences no one was prepared for, because some secrets are buried deep for a reason. The same lawyer who'd given Lena's name to Park was now consumed with guilt. He'd violated confidentiality, betrayed a trust, possibly endangered a child. So he made a different call, to the one person who might still care. "Sir, I need to speak with you urgently." Kang Dae-hyun's voice was weaker than before. The stroke had affected his speech, but his mind was sharp. "What is it?" "They're looking for the child. Your organization. They found me. I told them her name. I'm sorry, I was afraid. You told them about Lena." Not a question, a statement of fact. "Yes, and now they're hunting for her. Sir, if they find her, if they discover what she controls, she's in danger. A child can't defend herself against your world. I know. Then do something. Protect her. You made this situation. You signed everything over to her. You owe her protection. Silence. Then, activate Protocol 7. Sir? You know what it is. You help me set it up. Activate it. Now, before they find her. The lawyer understood. Protocol 7 was a contingency plan. Hidden security. Resources mobilized to protect the heir without revealing who was doing the protecting. Within hours, invisible guards were positioned near Lena's school. Her apartment building. Anywhere she went regularly. Professionals who looked like ordinary people, but were trained to kill if necessary. Amara noticed nothing. Lena noticed nothing. But they were being watched now. Protected by the very empire that was hunting them. And somewhere in Park's organization, someone was getting close. Too close. The collision between protection and investigation was coming. And when it arrived, Lena's quiet life would shatter completely. The investigator Park assigned to find Lena was named Yoon. Smart, thorough, relentless. She'd tracked people across continents before. A 10-year-old girl in Korea shouldn't be difficult. Yoon started with birth records, hospitals, medical files, anything from 10 years ago matching the name Lena Amara. She found 3 possibles. 2 were dead. One's trail went cold after age 2. Dead end. She expanded the search. School, enrollments, medical records, immigration databases. Nothing. The mother changed their identities, Yoon reported to Park. They're using different names now. Then find the mother. Women who give birth don't disappear without traces. Hospital records. Prenatal care. Something. Yoon dug deeper. Found a woman named Amara, who'd given birth 10 years ago in Seoul's St. Mary's Hospital. Left the hospital 3 days later. Never used her insurance again. Never visited that doctor. Vanished. She knew she was running. Knew someone might look for her. Yoon tracked the mother's last known address. Former neighbors remembered her. Kind, quiet, kept to herself. Left suddenly. No forwarding address. But one neighbor remembered something unusual. She had a daughter, smart girl. I remember because she asked the strangest questions for a 3-year-old. Legal questions, about ownership and property, like she was a tiny lawyer. That detail triggered something. Yoon cross-referenced. 10-year-old girls. Academically gifted. Legal interests. And found a small city school with a student who'd recently asked sophisticated questions to a visiting lawyer. The student's name, Lena Morrison. Not Amara. Morrison, different last name, but the first name matched, the age matched, the intelligence profile matched. I found her, Yoon called Park. The girl, she's in Incheon, goes by Morrison now, but it's her, I'm certain. Bring her in. Sir, she's a child. I said bring her in. We need to verify if she's really the heir. If she controls what we think she does. Bring both of them, mother and daughter. Tonight. Yoon hesitated. She'd done questionable things for the organization. But kidnapping a child crossed lines even she struggled with. Sir. Tonight. The call ended. Yoon didn't move immediately. Instead, she did something that would change everything. She accessed the sealed document. The one the lawyer had filed 10 years ago. The one that supposedly made this child the primary heir. It should have been impossible to access. But Yoon had connections in the legal system. People who owed favors. Within 2 hours, she had it. A copy of the original filing. And when she read it, her hands started shaking. Primary owner of Kang Holdings, Lena Amara, to receive full control upon age 18 or upon Kang Daeun's death or incapacitation. Authorization code, KB224-AIR001. Irrevocable trust. Cannot be modified, contested, or dissolved except by the heir herself upon reaching legal age. Everything, not just some assets, not just a portion of the fortune. Everything, the entire empire, billions in assets, international holdings, legal authority over every business, every account, every property. A 10-year-old girl owned it all, and the organization hunting her had no idea. They thought they were looking for a missing heir who might have some claim. They didn't know they were looking for their actual boss. The person who legally controlled everything they'd built. This is insane, Yoon whispered. She called Park back. Sir, I need to report something before I bring the child in. What? I accessed the document, the legal filing. You need to know what it says before we proceed. Tell me. The child isn't just an heir. She's the primary owner. Everything transfers to her. She controls the entire organization. Legally, We work for her. Not Kang Dae-hyun, her. Silence. Then Park's voice, tight with barely controlled fury. Get me that document. And get me the child. Now, before this information goes anywhere else. But it was too late. Because in his office, someone else was listening. Someone who'd been waiting for exactly this revelation. And they had very different plans for the child who owned everything. The organization's senior council met in emergency session. 15 men who'd built their power over decades, who'd survived gang wars and legal battles and hostile takeovers, who thought they understood every threat and opportunity. None of them were prepared for this. A child? A 10-year-old girl owns everything? The chairman couldn't process it. It's legally documented, filed, sealed, irrevocable. Kang Dae-hyun signed over complete control before she was a day old. Why would he do that? We don't know, but it's done. And if she reaches 18 or if Dae-hyun dies, she automatically takes control of everything. Every business, every account, every operation. She's a child. Children can't run criminal organizations. The law doesn't care, she owns it. Legally, completely. Then we remove her from the equation. The statement hung in the air, cold, brutal, practical. You're talking about killing a 10-year-old girl. I'm talking about survival. If this child controls everything, we have no power, no authority, no future. We become employees of a child who doesn't even know we exist. We could bring her in, control her, become her guardians or advisors, and let her grow up knowing she owns us? Let her become 18 with the power to dismantle everything we've built? No, we end this now, before it becomes a real problem. But not everyone agreed. Park stood up. We're forgetting something. Kang Dae-hyun is still alive, still conscious enough to make his wishes known, and he protected this child, set up security for her. He wants her alive. Dae-hyun is incapacitated. He's not the boss anymore. We are. We make decisions now. And if you're wrong? If killing his chosen heir triggers retaliation? From who? He's weak, dying. He can't stop us. Park left the meeting. He'd served the organization for 20 years, but he'd served Kang Dae-hyun longer. And he knew one thing the council had forgotten. Kang Dae-hyun never did anything without multiple backup plans. If he'd made a child his heir, there was a reason, and killing her might trigger consequences they couldn't imagine. Park made a call. Activate Protocol 7 immediately. Maximum security. The girl and her mother. They're targets now. Somewhere in a small city, invisible guards closed in around Lena and Amara. Neither of them understanding why their quiet life was about to explode into violence. The attack came at 2 a.m. 3 men, professionals, tasked with making a mother and daughter disappear quietly. They bypassed Amara's apartment building security easily, picked the lock on her door without sound, entered the small apartment where Lena slept in one room and Amara in another. The lead assassin moved toward Lena's room. That's when Protocol 7 activated. 2 guards who'd been watching from an adjacent building breached the apartment through the balcony. Fast, silent, lethal. The assassins never saw it coming. One was unconscious in seconds. The second pulled a weapon and was disarmed before he could fire. The third tried to run, made it to the hallway, then dropped as a tranquilizer dart hit his neck. Amara woke to sounds of struggle, grabbed Lena, found 5 men in her living room, 3 unconscious, 2 standing guard. Who are you? Protection, sent by someone who wants you safe. You need to come with us. Now, more will come. I'm not going anywhere with Mrs. Amara. Your daughter's name is Lena Amara. 10 years ago, you signed documents in a hospital. You were given a number to call on her 10th birthday. You didn't call, but someone found you anyway, and now people are trying to kill you both. So you have 2 choices. Come with us to safety, or stay here and die in the next attack. Choose fast. Lena was awake now, scared, confused. Amara made the only choice she could. Where are we going? Somewhere secure. Somewhere they can't reach you. Pack 1 bag. 2 minutes. Move. Within 5 minutes they were in a black van, driving through the night, away from the only home Lena had known, toward a world Amara had tried desperately to escape. Behind them, more teams arrived at the apartment, found the unconscious assassins. Realized the child had protection they hadn't anticipated. The council convened again, more frustrated, more desperate. Who's protecting them? We don't know, but whoever it is has resources matching ours. Then we escalate, find them, and this time, send everyone. The safe house was a fortress disguised as a suburban home. High walls, cameras everywhere, armed guards pretending to be gardeners and maintenance workers. Amara and Lena were given a comfortable room, food, clothes. Everything except answers. "I want to know what's happening," Amara demanded. The head of security, a woman named Jin, finally sat down with them. "Your daughter owns something very valuable. People want to take it from her. We're here to prevent that." "She's 10, she doesn't own anything. She owns everything, the entire Kang Holdings empire, billions in assets. It was signed over to her the night she was born. That's impossible. Kang Daehyun wouldn't." "He did. We have the documents, legal, irrevocable. On her 18th birthday, or if Daehyun dies, everything transfers to her control. And people in the organization don't want that to happen." Lena spoke for the first time. "I own a criminal empire?" Her voice was small, scared. "You own a business empire. Some of it is legal, some isn't. But yes, technically you're the boss. You just can't exercise control until you're 18. Can I give it back? I don't want it. It's irrevocable. Once you turn 18, you can transfer it, sell it, dissolve it, but until then, it's yours. Whether you want it or not." Amara pulled Lena close. "How do we end this? How do we make them leave us alone?" "Survive until she's 18. Then she can decide what to do with the empire. Sign it over, dissolve it, whatever she chooses. But right now, you're both in danger because powerful people see her as a threat." "And you, who are you working for?" Jin hesitated. "Someone who made a promise 10 years ago. Someone who's trying to honor that promise despite being unable to protect you directly anymore." "Kang Daehyun. Yes, he may be incapacitated, but he set up protocols, resources, guards, everything to keep you safe until Lena can make her own choice about the empire. He put her in this situation. No, he protected her from a worse situation, and now we're keeping that protection active, whether you understand it or not." As days passed in the safe house, Amara demanded the full story. Jin finally provided documents, files, the truth about that night 10 years ago. Kang Daehyun had a daughter. Before you, before Lena. She died when she was 8, killed by rivals trying to hurt him through his family. The photo showed a young girl, beautiful, bright-eyed, gone. He blamed himself, his world, his choices, swore he'd never have another child, never put someone he loved at risk again. Then why did he make Lena his heir? Because you saved someone he loved, without knowing it. Another file, medical records, emergency surgery. A young man, Daehyun's nephew, who'd been dying, needed a rare blood transfusion. Most people weren't matches, but Amara was. You were at the same hospital, giving blood because you needed money. They tested you for compatibility with emergency cases. You matched. Your blood saved his nephew's life. Amara remembered that day. Remembered being paid for the donation. Never knew who received it. Daehyun considers himself honor-bound. You saved his family. He had no way to repay that debt traditionally, so when he learned you were pregnant, struggling, alone, he made a different choice. He signed his empire to my daughter. He signed it to someone innocent, someone outside his world, someone who couldn't be corrupted by it. And he set up protections, resources, everything to keep her safe until she's old enough to decide what to do with it. That's insane. That's honor. In his world, debts matter more than logic. Lena had been listening. So I own everything because my mom saved someone's life? Yes. And people want to kill me because of that? Yes. That's not fair. No, it's not, but it's reality. And right now, we're keeping you alive until you can change that reality yourself. Amara held her daughter, wondering how a simple act of kindness had led to this impossible situation, wondering how to protect a child who owned an empire she never asked for. The flashback came through recovered security footage. The hospital, 10 years ago, Daehyun sitting beside his nephew's hospital bed, the young man weak but alive, recovering because of Amara's blood. "Who saved me?" the nephew asked. "A woman, a stranger. She'll never know what she did, never know you. You should thank her." "I can't. It would expose her to my world, put her at risk. Then do something else, something that honors the debt without endangering her." Daehyun had thought about that, thought about honor, debt, legacy, his dead daughter whose memory haunted him. Later, he'd learned the woman who saved his nephew was pregnant, alone, struggling, an idea formed, wrong by conventional logic, perfect by his code. "I'll give her child everything, my empire, my wealth, everything. It will be protected, held in trust." And when the child is old enough, she can choose what to do with it. His lawyer had argued, "Sir, that's your life's work. Everything you've built. You're giving it to a stranger's unborn child? I'm honoring a debt, making sure something good comes from everything I've done. If my empire serves one innocent life, protects one person who deserves protection, then maybe it means something beyond violence and power. And your organization, your people? We'll never know. The child stays hidden, protected, until she's old enough to understand what she controls. Then she makes her own choice to keep it, sell it, destroy it, whatever she decides. That's madness. That's honor." The footage ended. Jin looked at Amara. He never told anyone, kept it secret even from his closest advisors. The only people who knew were me, the lawyer who filed it, and a few guards he trusted completely. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you deserve to know. Your daughter doesn't control an empire because of some business decision. She controls it because a man with nothing but blood on his hands wanted to do one good thing, wanted to protect one innocent life, and you made that possible by saving someone without expecting anything in return. What happens now? Now we keep you alive until Lena turns 18. Then she decides the empire's fate. And whatever she chooses, we'll support her." The council's patience had run out. They'd lost 3 teams trying to reach the child. Every attempt met with professional resistance. Someone with resources was protecting her. "We need to change approach," the chairman said. "We can't kill her if we can't find her, so we make her come to us." "How?" "We have leverage. Kang Dae-hyun. If the girl knows he's the one protecting her, she might respond to threats against him. He's in a secure medical facility. We can't just... We control that facility. We can move him. Make it clear that his safety depends on the girl surrendering herself." "That's monstrous. That's pragmatic. We're not going to kill him, just use him to draw the girl out. Once we have her, we can negotiate. Maybe convince her to sign everything over when she's 18. Maybe find another solution. But right now she's hiding. We need to make her visible." Park heard about the plan. Immediately called Jin. "They're going after Dae-hyun, using him as bait. You need to move him. Now." "Where can we move him that's safer than a secure facility?" "I don't know. But if they get control of him, they'll use him to force the girl out. And then both of them are dead." Jin made a decision. "We bring Dae-hyun here, to the safe house." "That's insane. You're putting them all in one location. But it's the location they can't find, and it's better than leaving him vulnerable to his own organization." The extraction happened at night. Medical equipment, nurses, guards, everything needed to keep Dae-hyun alive moved to the safe house. By morning, the council discovered he was gone. "Where is he?" "Gone. Someone moved him overnight. Professional team, military-level operation." Who has the resources to extract him from our own facility?" No one had answers, but the message was clear. Someone was protecting both Dae-hyun and the child. Someone with power rivaling their own. The war was escalating, and the safe house had just become the most important location in the entire conflict. Lena saw him for the first time that evening. The man who'd signed everything to her. Kang Dae-hyun. Lying in a hospital bed, weak, aged, nothing like the powerful figure she'd imagined. "That's him?" she whispered to her mother. "Yes." Amara felt strange seeing him again. 10 years since that hospital night. 10 years of wondering who he was, what he'd wanted. "Can I talk to him?" Lena asked. Jin nodded. "He can't speak much, the stroke affected him, but he can hear, he can understand." Lena approached the bed. This stranger who'd given her an empire, who'd protected her from shadows, who'd made her something she never wanted to be. "Hi, I'm Lena. I guess you know that. I guess you know everything about me." Daeun's eyes focused on her. Clear. Intelligent. Everything his body wasn't. "I don't want your empire. I just want to be normal, to go to school, to have friends, to be a kid." His hand moved slightly, reaching for something. A nurse handed him a tablet. Slowly, painfully, he typed. The text-to-speech function activated. "You deserve normal. I took that from you. I'm sorry." "Then why did you do it?" "Honor. Debt. Hope that something good could come from bad things. My mom says I can give it all back when I'm 18. Can I?" "Yes, you can do anything. That's the point. Choice. You get to choose, not me, not them. You. What if I choose to destroy it all?" "Then destroy it. It's yours." "But Lena," he typed more slowly now, When you're 18, don't just destroy because you're angry. Learn what it is first, understand what you control, then make an informed choice. Promise me that. Why should I promise you anything? Because I'm asking, not as the boss, not as the man who built an empire, just as someone who wants you to have the power to choose wisely. Lena thought about it. Okay, I promise. I'll learn about it before I decide. But I'm probably still going to destroy it. A sound came from Daehyun. The nurses looked shocked. He was laughing, first time in months. Good, the computer voice said. That's the right answer. The attack came 3 days later. Not subtle, not professional, desperate. The council had learned the location somehow, sent everything they had, 30 men, military-grade weapons, orders to take the safe house and everyone in it. Jin's defense team was good, but they were outnumbered. We can't hold them, Jin reported. We need evacuation, now. Where? I don't know, but we have maybe 10 minutes before they breach the perimeter. Amara grabbed Lena. What's happening? They found us, we need to run. But Daehyun made a different choice, typed quickly. No running. I end this now. You can't even stand. I can speak. I can make calls. I can end this war. Give me a phone. Activate the council's emergency frequency. I'm calling a meeting, now. Jin hesitated. Sir, they're trying to kill you. They're trying to preserve their power. Give them a better option. Give me the phone. Jin handed him a satellite phone, activated the frequency every council member monitored. Daehyun's voice came through, weak but clear. This is Khan Daehyun. I'm alive. I'm conscious. And I'm ordering you to stand down. All of you. The attack ends now. You're not in charge anymore, the chairman's voice responded. You're incapacitated. The council rules now. Then let me explain what happens if you kill that child. Every failsafe I've built, every dead man's switch, every contingency, they all activate. Documents go to prosecutors. Evidence of every crime we've committed goes public. Every account gets frozen. Everything collapses. Not just for me, for all of you. You're bluffing. Try me. Kill the child. See what happens. Or stand down. Let her reach 18. Let her make her choice. Either way, the empire survives. Your way, everyone loses. Choose. Silence. Then, proof. We need proof these failsafes exist. Check your encrypted email. Password is the date you join the council. Documents are there. Read them. Then decide. One by one, council members checked. Found documents. Detailed contingency plans. Everything Daehyun threatened was real. Call off the attack, someone said. We can't win this. The assault teams pulled back. Just stopped. Retreated. Leaving the safe house untouched. Inside, Lena looked at Daehyun. You just saved us by threatening to destroy everything you built. I built it wrong. If saving you means destroying it, that's acceptable. But now you get time. 7 years until you're 18. Use them wisely. The next day, Jin brought Amara to a private vault. Heavily secured, requiring multiple authorizations to enter. Inside was a wall of safety deposit boxes. Jin opened one. Inside, documents, original filing papers, trust agreements, and a leather-bound folder marked for Lena Amara, to be opened when ready. This is the complete documentation. Everything proving Lena owns the empire. Original signatures, legal seals, irrevocable trust documents. Amara touched the papers. All of this for a child. All of this to protect a child. There's a difference. Jin pulled out the leather folder. This is Daehyun's explanation, written before the stroke. Before he knew if he'd survive to see her grow up, he wanted her to understand why he did this. Should I read it? Not yet. Wait until she's old enough to process it. 14. 15. Old enough to understand complex motivations. Then give it to her. Let her decide what to think about his choices. What does it say? Jin had read it, in case Daehyun died before being able to explain himself. It says that empires built on blood can still do good. That power used properly can protect instead of destroying. That he hoped she'd be better than him. Do better things with what he'd built. Transform it into something worthy of the sacrifice her mother made by saving his nephew. That's a lot of pressure for a child. That's why she doesn't read it until she's ready. Until then, we keep her safe. Let her be a kid. Let her grow up knowing she has choices. That's the gift, not the empire. The choice. Amara held the folder, felt its weight. When this is over, when she's 18, will you still protect her? Yes, until she tells us to stop. That's our job, our honor, our choice. Why? Why risk your lives for a girl you barely know? Because someone needs to prove that honor still means something, that debts can be repaid, that doing the right thing matters even in a world built on wrong choices. Lena represents that. She's proof that good can come from bad, and that's worth protecting. The council met again, this time with a different purpose. Not to plan attacks, to accept reality. The child owns everything. We can't change that. Can't kill her without destroying ourselves, so we adapt. How do we adapt to serving a 10-year-old? We don't serve her, not yet. She can't exercise control until she's 18. Until then, we run things as we always have. We just prepare for transition. And when she turns 18, we present her with options, explain the empire, show her what we do. Maybe she keeps it, maybe she doesn't, but we give her educated choice instead of forcing decisions. It wasn't what they wanted, but it was survival. We need to make this official, the chairman said. Public among our organization. Everyone needs to know the child is off limits, untouchable. Anyone who threatens her faces immediate execution, no exceptions. The announcement went through the organization like a shockwave. Soldiers, associates, business partners, everyone learned the truth. Their empire was owned by a child they'd never met. Some were angry, some were confused, but most accepted it. Because in their world, the boss's word was law, and Daihan's final command was clear: protect Lena Amara. No matter what. Within days, the entire underworld knew. The child who owned the Kang Empire was real, hidden, protected, and absolutely untouchable. Rival organizations tested the waters, made subtle inquiries, and found that every attempt to learn more about her location met with lethal response. The message was clear. This child was different. This inheritance was sacred, and the entire organization would die before letting anyone harm her. Lena went back to school, back to her normal life, with invisible guards, with protection she couldn't see but could feel. She was the most powerful person in the criminal underworld, and she had no idea how to feel about it. On Lena's 11th birthday, Daehyun asked to speak with Amara privately. His speech was better now. Therapy had helped. Not perfect, but functional. I owe you truth, full truth, about why I really did this. Amara sat across from him. I thought it was about honor, about repaying a debt. That's part of it. But there's more. He struggled to find words. My daughter died because of me. Because I brought violence into her life. Because being my child made her a target. I couldn't save her. That's not your fault. It is. Completely. I built the empire. I created the enemies. I made the choices that put her in danger. And when she died, something in me died too. So you gave everything to Lena to replace your daughter? No, I gave everything to Lena to save her from my mistakes. To give her the power to protect herself. To make sure that if she ever faces threats, she has resources to fight back. To survive. To choose her own path. That's not protection. That's burden. It's both, and I'm sorry for that. But Amara, your daughter is brilliant, strong, capable. When she's 18, she'll have the power to do anything. Change the empire, destroy it, transform it into something good. That's a gift I could never give my own daughter. And if she chooses to destroy everything you built, then I'll die knowing something good came from it. That one person got to choose freedom over obligation. That's enough. Amara thought about that. About her daughter. About the impossible situation they were in. I don't forgive you for putting us in this position, for making my daughter something she never wanted to be, for stealing her normal childhood. I don't expect forgiveness. I expect her to survive, to thrive, to become something better than me. If she does that, then everything I did, all the violence, all the wrong choices, all of it, will have meant something. You're asking a lot from a child. I'm giving her everything and asking only that she lives. That's the lightest burden I could create. Everything else is her choice, and I'll die knowing I gave her that. Later, Amara told Lena a simplified version. He's sick, he made mistakes, but he's trying to do something good, even if it's complicated. Do you believe him? I don't know. But I believe he wants you to have choices, and that's worth something. When I'm 18, I'm giving it all away, to charities, to good causes. I'm destroying the empire and building something better. That's your choice, and it's a good one. You're not disappointed I won't keep it? I'm proud you already know what you want to do with it. That's wisdom. Use the next 7 years to figure out how to do it right, then change the world your way. Lena smiled. I can do that. 7 years passed. Lena grew up under invisible protection. Brilliant, strong, exactly who she wanted to be. She studied law, business, ethics, everything she'd need to understand what she controlled. At 17, she asked to meet with the council. I want to understand what I'm inheriting, all of it. Before I turn 18, no secrets, no hiding, I want the truth. They showed her everything. The businesses, the legal operations, the illegal ones, the money, the power, the violence, all of it. Lena took notes, asked questions, processed information that would overwhelm most adults. This is what I own? Yes. And in 6 months, I can do anything with it? Anything. Good, I have plans. On her 18th birthday, Lena Amara became the official owner of the Kang Empire. The transfer was automatic, irrevocable, complete. Every asset, every business, every secret, all hers. The council waited nervously for her first command. She stood before them. This child they tried to kill. This girl who'd owned them for 8 years. This young woman who now had absolute power. I'm dissolving the criminal operations. All of them. We're going completely legitimate. Everything illegal gets shut down, sold, or transformed. We're building something new. That will cost billions. I don't care. We're doing it right, legal, ethical, using the Empire's resources to actually help people instead of hurting them. That's my choice. That's my command. Anyone who can't accept that can leave with generous severance. Anyone who stays commits to the new vision. Most stayed, because in their world, the boss's word was law, and Lena was the boss. Kang Daehyun died 3 months later, peacefully. Knowing he'd succeeded. The child he'd given everything to had transformed his empire into something good. Amara stood at his funeral, complicated feelings, but also gratitude, because her daughter was alive, powerful, free, and changing the world. Did I do the right thing? Lena asked her mother. You did your thing, and it's beautiful. He gave me an empire built on blood. I'm turning it into one built on hope. Is that enough? It's everything. You took something broken and made it better. That's the best any of us can do. Lena looked at the city, at the empire she now commanded, at the future she'd create. The secret child who owned the mafia boss's wealth had become something more. A force for change. The leader who chose differently. The young woman who proved that even empires built on darkness could be transformed by one person choosing light. And somewhere she believed, Kang Daehyun was smiling because his impossible gamble had paid off. The debt was honored, the child was saved, and something good had finally come from everything he'd built. The empire belonged to her now, and she would make it mean something.